Good afternoon, dear students. Dear student, today we are going to study about subject matter of economics. Dear student, of this is the last topic from our first chapter, which is definition of economics. Now, dear student, if you talk about the subject matter of economics, then you can divide economics into two parts. One is your microeconomics, and second is your macroeconomics. Okay, the first one is microeconomics and the second one is macroeconomics. Dear student, whenever you studied the term micro, just always keep in mind that the word micro is derived from the Greek word macros, which means small. That's why microeconomics is the study of behavior of individual economic units or individual economic variables. Okay, whenever you study economics from an individual point of view, it may be an individual household, it may be an individual firm, it may be an individual industry. Okay, so whenever you study economics as an individual point of view, it is simply known as microeconomics. And when you study economy as a whole, or when you study economics from the point of view of a society or from the entire economy, it is simply known as macroeconomics. That's why micro means small and macro means economy as a whole or large sense. Okay, dear student. Now, in microeconomics, the unit of study in microeconomics is individual units rather than the entire economy, such as individual household, which I told you, individual firm, industries. Thus, the study of economics behavior of the household, firm and industries from the subject matter of forms the subject matter of microeconomics. In other words, microeconomics is a microscopic study of the economy. For example, microeconomics is concerned with how the individual consumer distributes his income among different products and services so as to maximize his utility. Okay, now it is discussing in this we discuss about individual consumer, individual producer, individual firm, individual industries. Okay, so we see the economy from individual point of view. That's why it is known as microeconomics. Okay, dear student, in other words, microeconomics examines how resources are allocated among various individual firms and industries. Okay, how the prices of various products are determined and how the output produced is shared among those who cooperate in the production of this output. Okay, that's why microeconomics also examines whether resources are efficiently allocated or not. Dear student, that's why microeconomics is concerned with the theory of production, pricing, factor pricing, and economic welfare. Because in this theory, you study economics as an individual point of view. Okay, it may be a firm, it may be an household, it may be an industry. Okay, and if you think from an individual consumer point of view, your motive is always satisfaction. Yes, and if you talk about a producer point of view, your motive is always to earn maximum profit. Okay, dear student, now this is our microeconomics. Now if you talk about macroeconomics, dear student, the prefix macro is derived from the Greek word macros, which means large. Okay, that's why my macroeconomics is the study of economy as a whole. The unit of study in macroeconomics is the entire economy rather than a part of it. Okay, macroeconomics deal with the problem faced by the entire economy. Thus, macroeconomics deal with the functioning of the economy as a whole. Okay, dear students, so always keep in mind that whenever you study about macroeconomics, it means you are studying economy as a whole. For example, macroeconomics seeks to explain how the economics total output of goods and services and total employment of resources are determined, and what explains the fluctuations in the level of output and employment. Okay, all these are macro concept. When you are talking about employment, when you are talking about inflation, deflation, when you are talking about budget, when you are talking about balance of payment, when you are talking about balance banking system, monetary system, all these are macroeconomics term. Okay, because in this you study economy as a whole. This is not an individual terms. That's why in these terms we studied in macroeconomics. Okay, macroeconomics explain why sometimes the economy is operating in near about full employment level, and why at some time there is a high degree of unemployment, why sometimes there is full utilization of economic productive capacity, and why at some times there is underutilization of the economic productive units or the capacity. Okay dear students, so all these terms, all these question, okay, will answer in macroeconomics. Okay, you will find their answer in your macroeconomics. So in short we can say that macroeconomics deal with the broader economic aggregates or the bigger issues in the economy, like full employment, full capacity, under capacity of production, low or high rate of growth, inflation, deflation, okay, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, income, employment, investment. All these concepts you will study under macroeconomics. Okay dear student, so this is our micro and macroeconomics. Now our next topic is the difference between micro and macroeconomics. What are the difference between micro and macroeconomics? There are so many differences, but we have to focus about only few. The first one is unit of study. Okay dear student, now micro and macroeconomics differ from each other in the term of unit of study. As I studied that macroeconomics studies the economic behavior of individual economic units. So this is the part of microeconomics. In microeconomics we study the individual economic units, and if you talk about macroeconomics we study, on the other hand, if you talk about the macroeconomics, then it simply means we are study about the entire economy. Okay, we are study about the entire economy rather than a part of the economy. So dear student, macroeconomy is concerned with the behavior of the economy as a whole. Okay, so speaking metaphorically, microeconomics examine trees, not the forest, while macroeconomics examines the forest and not the tree. Dear student, that's why macroeconomics is a broad concept and microeconomics is a narrow concept. As you can see with our metaphorical example that macroeconomics is a forest and microeconomics is a tree. Next is study, focus of study. Okay dear student, microeconomics differ from macroeconomics in terms of the nature of economic problems studied. Microeconomics deal with the determination of price and quantity in individual market. Okay, what is the price, what is the quantity, okay, we study this in the individual market from an individual producer or consumer's point of view. It is concerned with allocation of resources among individual firm and industry. It examines how the output produced and share among various resource on. Okay, now thus microeconomics deal with the functioning of various markets, both commodity market and factor market, and the relationship among these market we studied in macroeconomics. Okay, on other hand, dealing with broader economic aggregates like national income, you heard about the term GDP, GNP, all these terms we studied in macroeconomics. That's why macroeconomics on the other hand deal with broad economic aggregates like national income, total employment, aggregate consumption, aggregate saving, investment, general price level, economic growth, balance of payment. So all these are the macroeconomic concept. Okay, these things we studied under the macroeconomics. So you can see that macroeconomics deal not with individual quantity as such but with aggregates of these quantities. Okay, not with individual incomes but with national income, not with individual price but with the price level, not with individual output but with the national output. So you can see that in every case, okay, in every case macroeconomics deal with the broader cases only. The every term we have a broader sense or we have a broader term. So in macroeconomics we go for the broader term or broader concept. Now basic parameters of the subject matter. Dear student, one of the main difference between micro and macroeconomics is the term of basic parameters of the subject matter of the two. While price is the basic matter of the subject matter of microeconomics, whenever you talk about the basic parameter of microeconomics, then price is our basic parameter. And in the case of macroeconomics, okay, you can see that aggregate national income, aggregate consumption, aggregate investment, all these are our basic parameters in the sense of macroeconomics. Or the national income, as I told you, the national income is the basic parameter of macroeconomics. So be careful. In microeconomics, basic parameter is price. In macroeconomics, basic parameter is national income. Okay, dear student. Next is different perspectives. Okay, now the perspective may be different. First, if you talk about microeconomics, the microeconomics and macroeconomics look at the economy issues from different perspectives. Okay, according to Stiglitz, that microeconomics is the bottom up view of the economy and macroeconomics is the top down view of the economy. So this, always keep this statement in your mind, that if you talk about microeconomics, it is the bottom up view of the economy. Okay, and if you talk about macroeconomics, then it is upper down view of the economy. Okay, dear student. The next part is method and study. Microeconomics uses the technique of partial equilibrium analysis. Okay, we studied partial equilibrium analysis in microeconomics. And if we talk about macroeconomics, we studied the quasi or general equilibrium. Now the question is, what is equilibrium? We will study in our further lectures. Now if you talk about equilibrium, equilibrium simply means where two things equals. Now this is the framework. This is your demand curve, this is your supply curve. So the point at which demand is equal to supply, okay, this is your price, this is the point at which your demand is equal to supply, they intersect each other. This is the E point, is your equilibrium point in case of microeconomics. And in case of macroeconomics, again the same thing. Now this time you have aggregate demand and you have aggregate saving. This point is again your equilibrium point in case of macroeconomics. Okay, now the term is changed. In micro you have demand, but in macro you have aggregate demand. Okay, now what is this aggregate demand, we will study in our future classes. Okay, so in macroeconomics you talk about general equilibrium or quasi equilibrium, but in microeconomics you will always talk about partial equilibrium. Okay, dear student. Next point, nature of assumption. Okay, now always keep in mind, whenever you study microeconomics, you take all your macro variable as constant. Okay, whenever you study about microeconomics, all your macro variable like income, aggregate, okay, aggregate supply, okay, your unemployment, employment, all these variables remain constant. Whenever you studied about macroeconomics, then all your micro variable remain constant. Okay, so keep in mind in the term of assumptions. Okay, dear student. Now this is our last topic, which is interdependence of microeconomics and macroeconomics. How microeconomics and macroeconomics are interdependent with each other. Okay, this is our last topic. Although we have drawn a sharp distinction between micro and macroeconomics, we should not get an impression from this that the two are independent way of analyzing the economic issues. Okay, ये impression नहीं, we have not to create this type of impression. Okay, they both are also interdependent with each other. Now how microeconomic analysis and macroeconomic analysis are complementary to each other. They do not supplant but supplement each other. Okay, that's why Shapiro say strictly speaking there is only one economics. Okay, in practice, analysis of the economy cannot be conducted separately in two watertight compartments. Okay, microeconomics variable and macroeconomic variables are interdependent. Therefore, as we analyze microeconomic variable, we have to take account of macroeconomic variable and may affect the microeconomic variable and vice versa. Both microeconomic theory and macroeconomic theory are important in their own ways. Okay, they all are important in their own ways. When we say that macroeconomics deal with bigger issues of economic life, it does not mean that macroeconomic theory is more important. After all, the entire economy is made up of its part. Therefore, microeconomics theory is equally important in its own way. Moreover, the basic goal of both of the theory is the same: maximization of material welfare of the people. For the macro point of view, the nation's material welfare will be maximized by achieving the utilization of productive resources of the economy. And if you talk about an individual point of view or a micro point of view, then your objective is to earn maximum satisfaction. Okay, so the objective is same but the perspective is different. Now dear student, according to Professor Paul S. Samuelson has rightly marked, there is really no opposition between micro and macroeconomics. Both are vital. Okay, you are less than half educated if you understand one while being ignored the other. So you have to understand both simultaneously, because both the concept are complementary to each other. Okay dear student, before 1930s, economists concentrated their attention exclusively on microeconomics. Okay, macroeconomics was regarded as a junior partner. It was therefore given a passing reference. The classical economists believed that economy normally operate in full employment. In the very first class, I discussed about the classical economists, I discussed about the Keynes. So all these things are repeating here. That the classical economists believed that the economy normally operate at full employment level, and therefore the actual level of output in the economy was simply whatever could be produced with full employment of the resources. So according to them, the economy could depend for full employment situations only temporarily. Okay, and they believed that the automatic forces of competition would take the actual level of output back to the full employment level, which I told you. Therefore these economists were not considered with the problem of unemployment. The fact, now if you talk about the economic fact, if you talk about the macroeconomics, it come into existence after the Great Depression of 1930s. Okay, after the 1930s, as I told you, the famous economist J.M. Keynes emerged, and in his theory, the journal Theory of Employment, Interest and Money, he discussed about the broader sense of economics, which is known as macroeconomics. Okay dear student, so that's it for today. We have completed our chapter 1 here, and I will give you the assignment and the homework in separately. Okay students, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we have class, or we will study about our new chapter in that, or we can discuss whatever doubt you have regarding this particular chapter. Okay, stay safe, stay healthy.